Hello and welcome to tutorial 133, and in this tutorial we're going to be doing a couple of things completely new to Marketplace, and one of those is using the time and sales provider, and the other one is using ActivityBars, and you can see both those things on the screen at the moment. In fact, the TradeStation time and sales screen on the right of the screen, what we're going to be using is the time and sales provider. And what I was asked by a subscriber to Marketplace.com was, could I create a show me study which somehow showed the price levels where trades were occurring at the last bid or the last ask? And in fact, what I'm going to do is use ActivityBars, which allows a little bit more flexibility as to drawing on the chart the position where the trades are occurring at the last bid or the last ask. What you'll probably want to do with this tutorial, in conjunction with this tutorial, is familiarize yourself with ActivityBars. These are something that I've not done tutorials on before, but they are interesting. Briefly, I'll just try and explain a little bit about them before we go any further. So here we have a chart that's been running since 9 o'clock this morning, and you'll notice this tutorial is only using real-time bars, and these were real-time bars. And what I'm going to do is just expand the screen so you can see each of them in a little more detail. And as we zoom in, we'll see that these are made of a lot of little cells. And so the way that this program works is it will draw little boxes relating to a certain price range of the activity bar. Now, these bars are 30-minute bars, but within those bars, if we were to go to our activity bar tutorial that we're going to be developing in a moment and click on data settings, you'll see that is made up of 5-minute activity bars. So each letter refers to one of those little inside 5-minute bars. And what I've done in this program is, if the trades occurred at the bid or the ask price over a user input amount, then we would draw a row of cells for that particular price range. If that occurred, then we would draw more rows for that particular price range. So you can see here that the B range occurred here, the C range occurred here, the F range, and so on. And apparently there were a smaller number than the user input trades occurring at the bid or ask for the A range. And what I've done, I'm drawing some on the right and some on the left, and just going to remind myself by going into the program, and in fact we're drawing the cells on the right if the trades have occurred at the last bid, and we're drawing cells on the left if a trade occurred at the last ask. We're drawing those up to a max weight, and that is a user input. So I think in the programs that the screens that I'm showing you here, the maximum weight there is 5, so it won't get any bigger than 5. But what it will do is it will go from the trade at ask counter, and that value keeps on incrementing every time there is a trade above a user input amount. So it will just count those and then draw a row of cells for each of them. So this gives you some idea, very, very roughly, as to where the greatest value of those are occurring. So that would, in this case, that would be a price around this level. And if we just go back, remind ourselves, because they're on the right, then that means that they are trade at bid. Okay, so that's a very brief introduction to the activity bar. What I suggest you do is go look at the program page at marketplace.com, and I'm going to put a link there to a very good TradeStation video which just talks you through all the standard TradeStation activity bar programs. And this one, obviously tutorial 133, is not a standard one, but it uses some of the same principles as those standard ones. So what I'm going to do, that's a very brief introduction to what the program does. I'm now going to run through the program and try and explain how we have created it.